All right, guys. So part 2 is here. So we covered in the first video about the rules that we don't know when they officially will be, really, because there's so many things out there. Some saying third, some saying that it needs commenting. I personally, I'll say the truth. I've seen that things will come back for commenting toward the end of March. And when I added that up with what I've seen in the option link and option chain, there's a huge, for me, and I'm not a financial advisor, guys, but this is just my personal opinion. Doesn't look like anything will happen to this until after April sometime, or somewhere in April. I hope that not only that I'm wrong, I hope that I'm so wrong that it's tomorrow. How does that sound? But if it doesn't, then from the filings and from the option chain, things that I've seen, it looks like if anything, it's going to be around that time frame, like after the April 1st timeline. Like it's going to be somewhere in the mid-April to beginning of May, somewhere there. So anyways, this is just me seeing things, like throwing an opinion in the hat, but obviously nothing to be, no one knows 100%. So that's as far as the regulations. Now, would regulations force these guys to do what they have to do? Well, yeah, but within time, right? So if they have to report, let's make it make sense, guys. Let's say it does happen on March 3rd. How do you think it's logical that on March 3rd the rule gets passed, and then right away on March 4th all things have to be reported, and they will all have all the reports ready and submitted? I don't see that happening that way. I'm not a FUD, guys. I just don't see it happening that way. Again, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not here, I personally myself, I'm an investor. So I'm here to point out things the way I just see it. It's my personal channel. That's why I say my opinion on it and my piece. And in the same time, it's welcoming everybody else's opinion. Obviously, we all want to learn and grow together, but this is where I'm throwing in the flag, saying that you have to watch out for that, because if you're emotionally too attached to this date, then if it does not come to fruition, you will be so destroyed mentally and emotionally, to the point where, and I've seen this happen to other people, because not everyone is as invested in searching and doing DD for their stock. Like if you are, the odds are, if you're watching me here right now, you're probably just either flipping through other channels, and you've come around mine just to hear my answer, and that means you're a very individual that's very, very invested in doing so much research to hear all the kind of opinions from all around, which I welcome, obviously, to get more conviction about your play and what you're doing. But in the same time, you could also be a person who don't have time for that. You work a 9 to 5 and you have a family. You have no time to do none of that stuff, because by the time you're done from between those two things that I just mentioned, it's just time for sleep or drinking a cold beer to watch a game if you're lucky. So I feel you. I get you. So that's why this message is out more so it's for everyone, but it's more so for the person that does not have the time to do their full research or anything. Because when headlines come out, the 3rd, the 5th, the 31st, it checks in and it gets highlighted into a human's brain, into those individuals' brain. And if things don't come to it, then just because they're not doing as much research, they're eventually just gonna give up. I've had friends that I've seen that did this. They just caved out. They're like, we don't have time for this. You know what? These guys always win. This is literally their words. These guys always win. These guys were always going to get it their way and however way they want. There's no such thing as a squeeze. I'm just going to save whatever I have left. I'll be okay with this little loss. I'll mark it off on my taxes. See how sad that was? So losing out on this, guys, it's not just dangerous from the YouTubers here or the community. They're a danger of their own. But this is also another danger, is us to ourselves, because not everyone is as mentally, you gotta remember, not everyone is as mentally, physically, emotionally as invested as you are to this play. So you have to keep that in mind, guys. So we gotta rally around each other. We can't be the ones that each one is throwing up this and each one is ganging up with this and that. The ultimate loser is us, not them. That's what they want. Again, the swap probe came out. These guys were all hand in hand, tough as a rock. You know, they're all literally talking to each other. Is like, where are you going to be out tonight? To that point, like, you want to go to Starbucks and no, they don't even go to Starbucks. They probably, I mean, at that point, they own that shit. Anyways, you guys know what I'm getting to with this. This is very important, especially ahead of a week that's coming up. So you got to be mentally prepared, and you got to know that first, what we talked about this whole time, these past few videos that I've made for the last few days, all about numbers and brackets and how you come up about it, and you know what you should be keeping your eye on as far as short interest. And since the SEC is passing the rule that I was talking about just literally with Joe a day before, he asked that question. He's like, how do you keep your eye on the short interest? Because you said that, you know, short interest is, in my theory, what I will keep on my eyes on while the squeeze is happening, because that's how I can gauge where my brackets should be. And he was like, how do you check that? And I told him he's going to be a little different, but it's going to be the same, but a little different. The same as in, it's going to be through these Ortexes and all these data reporting sites. But the difference here is that by then, I would imagine, I was like, I would wait until some regulations clear out and pass, because I feel like it's going to be reported to the SEC, and in return, it will also be reported to these data reporters services. And it will be different and more authentic because it's going to be under different regulations. And guess what? Literally, the very next day, you can go back down and check my videos, guys. The very next day, the SEC and Gary Gensler goes out and passes particularly this rule and says all that. The only thing I have any thoughts about, or any ifs, or well, it's amazing, but the only but I have about it is that it will take them, as far as for now, I don't know if they will change it and make it better later, but for now, it's going to be on a monthly basis where they report their full services. Now, I think that the SEC, how long it's going to take to report to the public, but I think the SEC will have a report on a daily basis. That's why they legalized or passed the after hours trading for institutional. So that way they can be on the same hand, and you have to, if anything institutional you do, you have to report. So if they're operating then, by the end of that night or by the beginning of that morning, before the morning starts, the SEC has to have that report on their desk to see. So with that, guys, being said, much love. Might make one more video. If you like this channel, please like this video. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comments section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.